dead.
You killed him?
I found him like this. I heard one of the doors close. I came out to check it out.
He's lying.
You could have done it not even knowing.
No, he said he didn't do
I
it.
don't have any of this.
You checked him yourself, Hodge.
Yeah, 6 hours
It was
ago.
one of you!
Stop it! Stop it! Shut up! Just put the gun down and let Hodge give you a blood test.
So he can doctor the results. I'm not gonna let him stick a needle in me. He could be infected.
He has to be confined now.
Then just turn around and let us take a look at your neck.
I'm not turning my back on anyone. As far as I'm concerned, you're all infected.
Hodge is right. We ought to lock him up.
Smoking barrel in hand, the ground is covered by magnificent light. I just shot an angel, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. A clean shot to the body cavity, the wings turned to dust in a second. Incredibly beautiful in slow-mo, every color in the rainbow was emitted. No sound but the echo of deconstructing myth. I stand the only optimist left, not a victim but pessimist, destroying evangelists. Top of the list I have, I forgot my thought, let me recollect. I'm distraught by the guilt, but yet the beauty was so fine, passionately fatal like time. I'm standing over rivers, I can see my reflection. I look myself in the eye and I get an erection. Who is the man in the mirror sleeping in the angel's dust? Who is the man in the mirror sleeping in the angel's dust? Would it be considered rational to kill for the art? And who would be responsible for ripping angels apart? Do they know for what purpose they would be dying? In heaven, do you believe there's any angels crying? Smoking barrel in hand, I stand over top of everything my society's based on. There's a body with wings and my face is on it. The situation is vague, but I'm upon it. The torso is not human and everything around it is consumed by serenity. The spectators envy me cause I'm so close to the dead angel. Someone has to touch it, I'm able. Can I live with the action? Does beauty justify satisfaction? For a fraction of the moment I was lost in the thought. We're shooting angels.
This is Futura for Psyche Intangible. I'm my man Sixtoo.
From your deepest outer thoughts to the lowest crevice of your inner space. This is your introduction to self, being in time, a conquest eternal. Propositional truth consists in the correctness of statements made. Where context is dismayed, what is considered logic? We kinda throw the balance on scales of textile sales and tactile environments. Irrationalism as a denial of ratio contested in the defense of the before-mentioned logic. But lies in the essence of ratio, which has its ground in logos. Are you following? This is the theme for the psyche intangible. My whole crew. This is the theme for the psyche intangible. All my brethren. My clear and concise thought formulated and formatted for formalization. Speech in this form is information, and information is stored in the processing think tanks of the masses. Out of context, but in context, language is swayed by how we use the information. Informalization leads to a rationalization in the above-mentioned logic. Do you see a trend here? Without speaking, I could spread a message loud and clear. Silence. From transmission to submersion. This is the theme for the psyche intangible. This is the theme for the psyche intangible, impenetrable. This is the theme for the psyche intangible, not the mall rats. This is the theme for the Psyche Intangible. All my brethrens, the infantile profiles of presentations evolve to devolve like Chinese philosophy. Presentation points of pressurization on your theatrical metaphors, candy coated to cover all the open and closed doors. Walking through the corridors of the cerebellum, I exist, as do my people despite your perception. This is the theme for the Psyche Intangible. This is the theme for the Psyche Intangible. This is the theme for the Psyche Intangible. And this is the theme for the Psyche Intangible. It does exist. Clear your mental stature, it does persist. Set for capture ideals that I manufacture. Walk into the light. Look behind you, a shadow is cast upon the ground, and within it lies the sublimits where anything is possible, infinite. The well of souls is empty, there ain't enough to go around, hence crime runs rampant when children are born and no souls can be found. They walk upon the earth without instinct. Emptiness fully manifests, and so they can't think. Separation between good and evil is a collision. Acquisition of enlightened, many manifold decision. The world's darkening never reaches to the light of being. Shadow casters exist in my world.
I sit trapped within these walls. They consume me, exude my soul. I lack control of my emotions. Now my whole world revolves around in slow motion as I reflect on my context. These concepts, they seem so potent. I wait for the doors to open from the ground floor, ignorant to what's in store. I absorb through osmosis while most remain comatose, engrossed within this eminence. Dispenses the masses common sense. I manifest credentials, no longer content with identical contents. Lacking complex, I see the world through a microscopic convex lens again. I unlock the passage, proceed through the corridors up towards these lights. Dodging parasites within a psychological oversight to escape all this limelight, along with the hype and all these stereotypes that infect it. No longer can I stay connected, so I've embedded alternate methods to reckon, kinetically moving, mutilating my own brain. The conflict within my frame, I strain to maintain my sanity, battling my own mind from divine intervention. The perception of my senses seem unconventional in this dimension. Words an extension of my mind, intertwined by design. Beyond my blind ambition, submission to the systems. False sense of wisdom, knowledge slipping from my grasp. I release as time takes its pass. I cross over the forbidden paths along this aftermath.
If you were to take one glimpse into the mental structure and genetic makeup of the mind, my hereditary genetic path, of the fact that we address tasks with a different scientific method, you'd be aware that there's no comparison. Embarrassing empathetic results from your synthetic genetics can't contest my heretics. Numerous MCs within the multidimensional vortex are lost upon collision with the cerebral cortex. My brain fibers woven interconnected to insulate like Gore-Tex. Welcome to the MC Fashion Show. For this summer-fall collection we have 3 MCs, not for sale. You cannot buy this. Your contemplation of the situation shows your miscalculation in the past has had effects on your neural paths. Psychopaths in the hallways, corridors, and cracks of universality doesn't come into play with education or salary. The method is the means for human beings, especially those that's supreme and playing for the right team. Creative thinking cannot be created. I can tell by the beats and styles you emulated. Jaded in my mindscape. Composure, stature, listening ability, and closure of metaphor. Engaged heavily in the science of literary war with artist reliance to compliance and complexity rules. If there was only 6 bars left in the whole world, what would be the immortal thought that you'd emote? Would you change your whole style or keep puffing and blowing smoke out for the rectum? I take the world in the grasp of my language barrier and choke them in rationality, and stand scot-free in a court of law simply for the sake of technicality. Cause I'm only 6'2", but stand 7.8 on the genetic meter. So who will be the first to try natural balance and see it teeter?
Dumping dull dynamics on data, randomly selecting the medium. The end of all means, leans of justified, lust to die. Pain kill the pleasure, can't complain. The more pain comes into your soul, the more pleasure you can hold. Someone wants to mold your person, they want to worsen your struggle. Your mug will be filled, chilled to 2 degrees. Then you'll be served an acidic solution. Critics contribution will loosen the tense tendency which wrestle with the entangling enemies. One-eyed warlocks wandering the meadows, fighting the shadows, battling endlessly. Intensity rises, mummified megalomaniacs, call they call the sack, worshipping egomaniac, cult leader. The thought will teeter your way. Now it's time to serve the salvage sucker. Puff your lips, motherfuckers, not twisted fast when you're young, slung the pill from a fight when you're again conscious of the way. Now try to escape the feeling of invisible droplets that soon dried up. Lines that twist like ties until the individual is all tied up.
Suspended in a position by the holes in my chest, closer to God than most of you would like to think about. Without a doubt, our mortal poses bring eminent criticism and vague explanations have mystic appeal to general republic of those marching the left wing and sing songs of hope for technology. I bask in creative memoirs, pledging the allegiance to spiritually uplift my repertoire. I'm shackled mentally by 1,000 years of analog mediums advancement and digital enhancement of interpretive dance and infinite romance by chance. Scientific involvement has plagued culturally universal values. I rehearse the big day by taking volumes by the bag. So when the cyanide hits the Kool-Aid and mass suicide turns from hobby to plague, all march silently, mentally adrift, happy for the first time in my life and equipped to eclipse and outshine and outlast and outdo and outblast. No doubt you will bear testament.
Hibernation, cryogenics, osmosis, gathering strength and information, flailing myself with lost words, locking my life source away, heavily guarded within the industrial castle. I'm the keeper of the keep, vacant and void of feelings, love lost. I've been hanging from a tree for 7 hours and 23 days. It's time to cut myself loose.
I will cut myself free, mentally and physically, turning from human to energy to chi, an entity of paranormal activity, actively counter-reacting history, spiritually, habitually driven to shape-shift and hold soul as sacred and be enlightened as a gift. To both the blind and all-seeing, I no longer care about my emotional well-being. It's for the purpose, inject heroin into my cock veins to make you nervous. My evolution can't be stopped by your chemical compounds, ultrasonic sounds, television or machines that pound at 0600 in military hours. You can abide by, I got a sundial to fly by. You ride your Cadillac, I'll walk the path, and in the end we will see who will laugh.
How can one be sane every day, smothered in the creeping death? The nauseating stench of the rendering plant is in full effect, burning every kind of living organism. My industrial castle is built on the foundations of dead souls. I've been hanging from a tree for 7 hours, 23 days. It's time to cut myself loose.
Verbal communications are outdated. This is the information age of Aquarius, the nexus that burns from the solar plexus. Ethics of the technologically inclined are defined to massage the optic nerves of the inner mind's eyes and ears, where contemplation disappears and the ability to broadcast your darkest fears suddenly appear. The information rich versus the information poor. Opportunities and closed doors are defined more than before. The definition of sound blocking. Upright, talking in ancient tongues, but you couldn't even build a website. I encode a thought for the world to decipher and push it on the masses. All hail the Pied Piper. Below the 30 Hz range, there's subliminal signals capable of crippling humans and causing revolutions. Do you believe in magic? It's called 12-bit numerical significance is that there's no equivalence. My persistence is unmatched, my unbridled energy unhatched, but soon my fortress consume all beings. My metaphor is all out war. When your psychoanalytical factions hidden meaning in fractions as mathematics don't lie. Less compounded and tests show that over 80% of the public can't see through, although not in their best interest. Blind people march forth regardless. Insignificant, overwhelmed by magnificent. Fuck the bullshit, I'd rather be rocking freights around sticker bombing, but wait, there's more. While you were downloading wares from your insecure site, I'm doctoring programs allowing for insight to shine. Mixtapes with hidden messages for all those who have mental capacity and audacity to persevere. We in the clear like Bismarcky samples. Few and far between are the examples worthy of notation. Quotation marks around hip-hop quotables should be burned at the stake, responsible for mad cow's disease. I plow through with ease, branding irony in my right hand, hungry for unrighteous and worthy of my command. My voice box destroys frequencies of real audio blind people. March forth regardless.
Way back into time, when the only people that existed were troglodytes, cavemen, cave women, Neanderthal, troglodytes. Let's take the average caveman at home.
As I extract pigment from plants to complete my first stabs at expression, immortality is but another trait of my immaculate perception, untainted by technology. I live within the walls, pervade universal truth. Symbolically I parallel the past days way of living, and at night I sleep without being subject to nuclear radiation. Complications that arise come few and far between. I be the unseen, both unspoke of and unheard of. You ever read Plato? The Republic, I got a cave. Flames to bring light and cast shadows on the man of unpure thought. Processing information's unbiased by interface. Where I reside, we make bass. Travel in atonal sounds that transmit unbridled energy to cosmos directly. Tentatively planned for 2000 BC. We drag our knuckles in separate tribes respectively. Unsubjectively, for necessity, we kill whatever is needed and use everything once the carcasses have been bleeded. The truth of my existence is jaded by nomadic psychology. Try and follow me and get caught in the web of your hypocrisy. Cause these cavemen exist and remain untouched by economies of scale, hatred and such and such. We don't got much more than integrity plus the pride and control, but our surrounding environments cannot touch our souls.
All praises due to the almighty Yaku. Lyrics of fury blades, brains, bigger range frames, and non-venomous specialist remains. Sedimentary and elementary, aims of non-aim and lots of gains. Slash gain me into the totem poles. The lost souls and orthodox holes in this box to contort. Press these palms to a black hole, till I'm consumed with fumes of hate and ignorance at high noon on drum beats. Speak my beats on beats, release species looms in every room when I'm voicing this. Inside this precipice, in the immortal words of Ice Cube, all snakes are not poisonous. The lesson has arisen, loosen the nuisance, cease the lynching of a lyricist, European diplomat, hip-hop body cis, that insists it's all propaganda, slander and open hand, slap the face at open mics. All my prior work to been subutone, dead poet with no home, old school like Dre and Snoop, fuck a mansion in the yacht. All I ever want is 40 bars in a loop, but instead I drag my bitch back to my cave. Fire here in a biosphere, I crave debating sound waves. No more swimming in Garth Brooks, digging in books like the art of metaphors. Become a culture crook, tired of walking on all fours. Moses came to me in the dark and handed me your mics, and people are watching your every move, and so you better come tight. Understand the nature of the threat, and we rebel against that. By slowly climbing the food chain, so we won't have to eat scraps.
There was a time when man did live in caves, as we all know. These people were known as cavemen, Neanderthal men, or troglodytes.
Through the interface design problems and transmission interference, you can hear the faint screaming of the memorial service. The midget standing at the urinal, nervous as left, bestowing gifts to optimists and positive thinking descendants. I paid my penance. Walking with free mind adds complications to situations. On occasions I march with intent and pride, while under blue masks I hide, and when the pity comes I prey upon your soulless weakness. God forbid you have female genitalia. No one can get close to me. I push the loved ones to misery, complementing my affinity for loneliness. Compassionate stress is the state of address. I could tell you lies, deceive you, trick you, make you feel like I missed you, kiss you with passion, double cross your broken heart and leave you gasping for action. End of memorandum. My whole life is up for grabs, and if you let me tie you up and fuck you backwards in the photo labs, ha. I hate everyone, especially myself. I got 1,000 broken mirrors and a heartfelt soul of hatred. Impressive scientifics, the specifics are vague now. I could taste the sodium in the air from the smoke. I resisted the choke that arose from my throat soon as I realized my opponent was neutralized to particles with viscosity unheard of. Curiosity arose, impossible, from the lowest crevice in the hospital. The sick sound emerged, the building submerged, and then the soul of my nemesis surrounded the premises. A dimensional porthole then appeared in my vision. The biogenesis allowed for the change in my position. Life energy transferred from the lyrical telekinetic. The father of my genesis retiring to the unaspiring devices. And suddenly my mind filled with crisis. The kinsfolk yelled my warfare, unbridled bloodshed through cancerous spirit communications. Infectious extrasensory perception from the molten rock layers out into the reaches of of outer space. The telecancer spread at an infinite rate, permeating every rock and both molecule alike, faster than the speed of light, eating up all the carbon, self-perpetuating anti-astrophysics, exceeding Doppler effects, spherical in motion, miracles in self-proportion, larger waves of destruction than tidal rifts in the ocean. No sound, only blinding light before the particles scatter, and then the whole universe disappeared into antimatter. It's part 3.
From out the cave so we can contemplate the highest. Why is this that flocks of sheep need a leader? Chock full of rock tools for carving out rules. We're like a ship for fools, and we lack tools for the imagination. With every sensation felt, we feel flattery is imitation at its finest form. Why is good cheer something to find fear in? Why are we not hearing the call from the clearing? The walls are closing in, the trees are fleeing faster. Can't you feel disaster coming? It's mechanized, circuits humming. I'm running and running fast, divided from those starting to latch on. From those catching on, I've long since parted. I'll try to be cunning and heavy-hearted. When the one that ever waited comes traipsing along, I'll be waiting. Backpack on shoulder straps, world maps at my disposal, hesitating. Get going, start rowing with both oars in the sea by the shore, coming closer. Sacrifice every vice in the slaughter. Every shrine, doctrine, and altar must falter under pressure from the lesser ways that we resist. The human spirit takes great pride in its persistence to exist as if every futile breath in and bring our new course closer to death. And fleeting hopes depending on popes and teachers to show us the rope from the bleachers. Our begging bowls are outstretched in our wretchedness. I wanna find happiness that the eye can see. No happiness for me, explanations must be focused on the situations that are tangible to me, that I can touch, taste, and see. I am, I be, I think, therefore I let my third eye to wander while I ponder universality. What is the universe to me?
My meandering family has now found a hearth, and I have often questioned my parents' every move and decision, not knowing that the choices were made with exacting precision. My homes and friends have been left at every turn for a religion, a way of life I refuse to learn. Disrespect and unfair prejudice it had to face a return, till Noah Haskell became Gungateri, refuge vow earned. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Organized religion now a part of my life, longer and permanent. Transmissions given without any idea of their pertinence. With ordinary magic I have felt the breeze of delight. Ordinary static's been avoided without any need for a fight. Nothing aggressive or full of ego, but to truly achieve this I got levels and years to go. Possibly eternity, for the path is the goal. So don't commodify or take parts out of a whole. Reincarnated souls is just one aspect. Conceptually speaking, I'm intellectually seeking a path towards refinement. Not to contrast to push my own assignment, just to understand the nature of the mind and attain enlightenment.
It's man's bizarre fascination on the past, present, and future that's Maya's fiction. Formal informalities combined with minor discrepancies and technicalities in the ripple of divine evolution. My spiritual pollution comprised of the lies, the truths, the yin and the yang, the Adidas logo in its other mystic format. Those who knew already know about the combat and the plight of the right and left wing, balance, conflict, and insight at parallel points. My joints are under scrutiny from those that feel threatened, but I vow my spiritual quest would never be used as a weapon. Analytical evaluation in open environments serves as the blueprint for a thought as I quest enlightenment. In all spheres I observe the common themes between three major categories of modern worship routines. Within the practice emerges a spiritual shapeshifter, here to serve the purpose as the modern day snake uplifter. Arise gutter snipes and hood rats alike, come from within the dark and enter into the light, and attain what remains within the heart. From the start of your spiritual quest, start by looking at both the east and the west. As the beast in your chest will rest but not be slain, because within the brain lies the rationale of the technical, and herein lies my conflict. My verse is the lifeline, the spine interconnected to the swine that you digest. I digress, righteous. Theme versus thought, spiritual evolution can't be taught.
My bare ass showing, quite typical in my youth. That's never challenged, cause the mental was critical in my pickup and highly influential, and I'm still fucking up heads. I'm only wild because I choose it. So just when you think you got my mindset, I lose it in a series of tempest thoughts and whirlwind expressions like. And now you're working with the boom, whom have the power to refuse gloom and such like bloom. My attributes and my angles acute, but I run circles round these squares. Intermediate, advanced, amateurs and pros, I'll even fuck up fans if they get too cocky. Hell, you can't make gold out of straw, kids. Don't know your place? Looks like we're gonna have to draw grids and section off the zones, cause these clones wander aimlessly. I'll cast 3 stones and regard shamelessly the primitive means necessities. Proper hip-hop cleansing, the chemicals I'm mixing from the genre it's dispensing. Now I'm picking up the pieces since my music was lost. A former list of my favorite MCs has now been crossed. And what they call music now, I ain't even describing it. I'd love to meet the prick who made this drug and is prescribing it, knowing it's highly addictive and tearing us apart. Deteriorates the body, especially the heart. And they call me a player hater, but I'm a player too. I play soccer and the bass guitar. Who the fuck are you? You're an industrialized superstar, thinking you can do anything, but it's really only what they want you to. But the cat leaves the mouse when the attention span is through. And I probably got no clout cause I don't make as much as you, but I get deep. How deep? Deeper than you assholes, deeper than the seafloor, inhabited by the mass poles. And I'll be that torpedo that sinks, shot from a submarine, the underground that thinks. That resistance to rebellion is the pressure. We're renegades run the store and the goods are always fresher. And to know self is important, our tones are tightened to a T. We buck them 65 times, then it's plain to see we beat them 60. Nothing, eliminate this bluffing. It's time to lock the sentence down and throw away the key. See, there's more to art forms than paints and naked David statues. Progression through experience should be the implements we choose. Oh fuck it, none of y'all are good at listening. I'll just do my own thing, my style will still be glistening. The greatest day of my life, probably tomorrow if I make it. I'm obliged to love my time, no rush, I'll simply take it on a mission where my destiny lies and hit them off the top rope whence my patronage flies. Listen, I'll be that street, look both ways before you cross. Would have selected where we go, sucker salad gets tossed. My brain will stay clean without ever getting washed.
Left-wing artist coalition called us. Now what's the fuss? I know you bought a Biggie record and you're mad about the fact I pulled your cards with little effort. These effing bastards better think before they speak. They weak like tissue paper, so I fold all the plans like origami. Tsunami on the bridge, you got a lot of attitude. Throw those motherfuckers overboard for acting rude in the public sphere. Expose their genitals to all who appear and stretch their intestines across the country as a message to all. I know you were plotting my downfall like Julius Caesar, but my day hasn't come yet. All bets placed 10-1 on the major label MC that hasn't touched dirt cause his ego is inflated past the 50 pounds per square inch mark. I got a fair cinch on the method of your madness. You were the gladdest when I had to sell my samplers to stay in school, but now I got my SP1200 back and 8 tracks of A, that is cool. Let's take that 10-1 ratio and flip it, cause now I got an education plus studio time and equipment. My own media company, methods to deliver the crushing of your ego so fast that it would make you shiver. The plight of one soldier is a long story to document, but now I have the power play to crush you lazy occupants. Minuscule mindscapes and broken down thought can't master the method of my verbal onslaught. Round 6.
I'm sitting next to a machine that can read minds.
The following program is about murder. Some viewers may find certain scenes disturbing.
We can make him better than he was.
While you watch this program, 2 people are going to be murdered. The forensic autopsy is the detailed legal medical examination and opening of a body.
We have the technology.
Buck digit followed by semicolons between titles. In places like Japan, Sebutones are teen idols. Yes, we've done shows in the most top secret army zone for money. Reach back with your neck and kiss the Barney Stone. Stand by while the spoiler takes a dump. I'm over your head and under your nostrils. The inner circle consists of us and our apostles. On the outskirts we got servants and apprentices. Then we only answer to the structure of sentences. The vinyl tablets are encoded with commandments. And if you can't read grooves, then you're never gonna get it. You're gonna wanna forget it forever, cause soon it's gonna be broken into binary units. The cave etchings are off limits to the public, so worship elsewhere.
We've been through endless hours of tape in the Patterson film. The underground archives are permanent residents. Angry young archaeologists are determined to find evidence.
We've been through endless hours of tape in the Patterson film. The underground archives are permanent residents. Angry young archaeologists are determined to find evidence.
Sebucon 321 from the Tycho ghetto pixel sector. We streamline through with chrome-plated bicycles. Binary coding of your DNA sandwich, mang the parasitic debris of your embryonic brain fluid. Who was the first man to fucking pooch position on Jupiter? 6201/29/74 and more stories to tell from analog hell. The Sebutones were cloned in test tubes for television purposes, but swayed off track and that multiplied our sperm cells. The ass rocking, jaw soaring, lower stomach pumping. Idols for sugar consumption are infinitely twisted genetically. The drums run through our blood medically. Steadily we progress by the design of the science of the ages. From the infantile stages to the ATAC catalog. San Francisco in effect. Much love with no gloves. Audio, integration, destruction and shaping. AIDS, awareness, in all fairness, the numeric values don't add up to nothing. And that is something to think about. Change. Contrary to popular misconception, your inferior ideology is tarnished by true pride. Possessive mannerism contaminated throughout the myth, while optimists wish upon probability. This is not true, see, it's all a big lie. Backed by science and guidelines, my thoughts proliferate, every moment expansion, coherent liability. For every word that I say simply mocks my capability. It's catch-22 divided by 6. At the infinite power of all jaded conversation, I can twist a word to mean whatever I wish. See, like time is a force you can't relinquish. My distinguished colleagues and I are but a small sample of the perfect example. Designed on the contrary, the dead could be the memory. For all you know, understand, nothingness exists, despite what you believe. Duration may pass, but you may retrieve. Your memory endures from the day to the eve, and everything is not as it seems. It's molecular possessions of creativity. Your civility is tarnished by requisites of my emphasis. The premises is evaded. Frequent flyer points are rewarded to those visited by external tribes of beings, but nothingness equates. Not in your linear coexistence with pretentiousness. Our mutual benefits, all that I come in contact with. I say it at the risk of sounding egotistical. Immortal words seem mystical, but they don't say exactly what I'm trying to get across when I enforce it through your losses as an example. It's like trying to explain a sample to someone who played piano from birth. For what it's worth, it doesn't matter anyway, because if this did not persist, then I would probably fade away. Nothingness exists, despite what you believe. Duration may pass, but you may retrieve. Your memory endures from the day to the eve, and everything is not as it seems. Quotation marks around your personal philosophy makes you trendy. Identifiable to others of the jealous one's envy. You see that I am not a rapper, and I do not wish to associate myself with your crew of dapper rich kids riding the wave of disillusion. Suburbia is nothing but a myth to me, regardless of appearance, not a mystery. Nothing can convince me of reflective reality when I walk within parallel dimensions and use lies as methods of protections. Nothingness exists, despite what you believe. Duration may pass, but you may retrieve. Your memory endures from the day to the eve, and everything is not as it seems. Nothingness exists, despite what you believe. Duration may pass, but you may retrieve. Your memory endures from the day to the eve, and everything is not as it seems.
We're not who we are. We're not who we are. And it goes no further than this. It stops right here. Right now.
out your smoke screen.
This is Mr. Dibbs. Right now I'm sucking Big Sixtoo's cock.